Shalom, holy initiates and holy adepts. Welcome to my very holy channel. I am the Chief Magician of Mystery Babylon. Welcome. In this video, I'm going to reveal a very powerful and very great arcanum. Cannot be emphasized enough. In fact, this great secret that I'm going to unveil in this video is so secret that I feel that even most Kabbalists out there, most inferior Jewish Kabbalists out there, let's face the facts, most Jewish Kabbalists out there are extremely inferior and do not belong to the direct line of ancient transmission, as do I. But nevertheless, I feel even many inferior Jewish Kabbalists don't even know this great secret. Probably less than a handful of people I think know this. So let's get right into it. Before I get into revealing the great arcanum, I have to teach and reveal a very ancient Hebrew hermeneutical principle. Now, we have a lot of ignorance out there. We have a lot of, especially in the Christian world, we have many Christians that go to the seminary, and when they're in the seminary, they have what they call Christian hermeneutics, and it's all one big joke. There's only one true, correct, veracious set of hermeneutics, and it is that of the ancient Israeli Illuminati, or the ancient Israeli elite and sages and Mekabalim. Okay, we're the only ones that have the true holistic set of true ancient veracious Hebrew exegesis. We are the true masters and owners of the ancient divine oracles of the Torah and of the word of Elohim. Nobody is fully initiated, owns, or understands the entire word of God other than the elite of Israel, to which I belong. Okay? So, a huge part of holy initiation is becoming acquainted and learning both the exoteric and even esoteric principles of ancient Hebrew exegesis. Okay? Now, one such principle that I'm going to reveal here is that we need to understand that when we are reading and studying the word of Hashem, that every pair of verses are related due to juxtaposition. Every pair of verses, there's some sort of hidden relationship. Sometimes it's an exoteric relationship, but most often than not, there's a concealed hidden relationship that ties every pair of verses together. Okay, due to juxtaposition. And I'm going to show you an example of this as we proceed here. And when you understand this, the great arcanum will be revealed, one of the greatest and highest of arcana. So we're going to begin in Sifra Daniel in chapter 12, verse 3. I have the Aramaic at the top and then the English translation at the bottom. We'll begin in verse 3. And the first part of the Aramaic reads, Hamaskilim yashiru kezohar harakia, which is essentially Aramaic for, and the Illuminati shall illuminate like the illumination of the firmament. Now, this verse is written en passant throughout all of our ancient esoteric principle texts, most notably in Sefer HaZohar. You will find this verse en passant, almost everywhere. Why? Why did the holy divine redactors of this most powerful holy divine text, why did they make sure to write this verse down en passant? Okay, so let me read to you again the critical Aramaic part of this verse. And the Illuminati yashiru ki kezohar, the firmament. Yashiru is Aramaic for shall illuminate. Kezohar is Aramaic for like the illumination. Now, if you see at the top, I have these two Aramaic words circled. You can see they share the same Aramaic root, Zain, He, Resh. Okay? Which comes to signify illumination. Now, the verse is speaking on the true Illuminati. One of my biggest pet peeves, the thing that really triggers me as a young millennial the most, is all of these really stupid and ignorant goyim, okay, who like to call the Luciferians that run the world, they like to refer to them as the Illuminati. You ask any goy out there, what is the Illuminati, they will start talking conspiracy theories and will usually reference the very evil Luciferians that run the world. Okay? Not understanding that these Luciferians, being copycats, have stolen the term from us, the true holy elite saints of Israel, of Yod-He Vav-He. We are the true Illuminati. The order to which I belong to, we are the true Illuminati. We are the true illuminated ones. How can you be stupid and retarded enough to call the Luciferians illuminated beings? They are not illuminated beings. They are extremely darkened individuals. They have, they have, completely extinguished their light, their lamp. And their souls are going to be completely eradicated and terminated and annihilated by Adonai. By Lucifer, really. Okay? So here we see the true saints, the true elect, the true elite, the most high elite, which numbers just like the Luciferians, just like the most powerful Luciferians in the world. Their numbers in the few hundreds at the most. It's no different with the true Illuminati. Our numbers probably in the few hundreds at the most. Probably less than that if we seriously analyze the situation. Okay, so if you read the last book of the Bible, the book of the Apocalypse, it tells you that it tells you explicitly and directly. If you are fluent in ancient Hebrew and Aramaic, like myself, and you know this, it tells you explicitly in the underlying Aramaic, in the original Aramaic, that the Illuminati, the true Illuminati in the last generation, will only consist of 144 individuals. Okay? So we're dealing with a very small handful of people here. Okay? So the true Illuminati, the true holy saints, you'll see that the word Zadikim is used in the Aramaic. Zadike, the saints, is referred to here in the same verse. The Illuminati is referred to the Zadike, which are the Zadikim, which are the saints. These are the most elite saints. Okay, so it's saying that we, the Illuminati, who we have not extinguished our light. Our light shines brighter than has ever shone before, and we shall illuminate like the firmament. Okay. Well, we need to understand this context. So very critically, we have the Aramaic word Zohar being used here. Okay. Now let's read the next verse. The next verse states, "But thou, O Daniel, conceal the words and seal the book until the time of the end." Okay. So now let's analyze this verse. Now the verse, we need to ask the question: what book is the verse referring to? Is it referring to this book, Sifra Daniel? Well, the book of Daniel is not a concealed book. It's not an apocryphal text. Okay? It's been an exoteric text for about 2,500 years, more or less. Moreover, the verse doesn't tell Daniel to seal this book. The angel doesn't tell Daniel, seal this book that we are reading, that you are writing now. No, it doesn't say that. It says seal the book. So the book in question is most definitely not this book that is Sifra Daniel. So we need to ask, what book is being referred to here? What book is the angel pointing to and referring to? Well, if we understand the ancient veracious Hebrew hermeneutical principle that I have just revealed and presented, we understand that we have two verses. We have a pair of verses here that are juxtaposed directly next to each other. Understanding this ancient hermeneutical principle, we know that there's a hidden construct, a hidden relationship between these two verses. Now we need to ask, what is that hidden construct? What is that hidden equation? Well, if you have a high IQ, if you have a high SQ, you should have already figured it out. The book in question is Sefer HaZohar. This is the genius of the Kabbalah. Okay? Two verses. One is speaking on a concealed apocryphal text, a very, very esoteric Hebrew text. And the answer to our question of what book is being referred to here is to be found in the previous verse, if we understand the hermeneutical principle, if we understand the essence of the hermeneutical principle. Ergo, we are speaking, the angel is referring to Sefer HaZohar in its primordial, pristine state. So what is Sefer HaZohar? Well, Sefer HaZohar, as you should already know, is the holiest, most powerful most esoteric of ancient Hebrew texts. And Daniel, belonging to the order of the ancient Illuminati, had access to this book and knew of this book's existence, as we see here. The angel is pointing to an esoteric book that only the most elite of Israel, about a handful, have access to and know of, Daniel being one of them. Now, these elite, illuminated individuals of Israel would most definitely be the major prophets, like Yeshayahu, Yirmiyahu, Hosea, etc. So what we have then here is that Sefer HaZohar is the most powerful, the holiest, and most esoteric book of the ancient Hebrew prophets, the most famous of divine men in the whole world. So hopefully now you can begin to understand why Sefer HaZohar is so infamous, why it is so famous, why it is so just absolutely powerful and so divine and so holy. How many people know this? How many people know this truth? Well, now all of you listening know this truth, and hopefully you will act upon this truth, and you will move quickly to acquire this text and begin your true holy initiation. Because this is where all true holy initiation begins, with this most powerful and holy and most divine of texts. It is holier and more powerful and more divine than all of those other inferior texts that the stupid goyim, the stupid retarded goyim consider holy. Whether it's the texts of the Buddhists or the Hindus or any other nation. We are the superior, Israel is the superior master race. We are the chosen of the highest council of Elohim. It cannot be said of any other inferior nation. You need to understand this. You want to be stupid, you want to be retarded, be my guest. Good luck in the universe to come, if you even make it there. So, I will conclude by severely admonishing all of the stupid Jews. Okay, we need to understand that Sifra Zohar is an extremely antinomian text. It contradicts the ancient rabbinical halacha, and it contradicts the ancient Talmudim in many places. In fact, almost all of the esoteric ancient principle texts are very antinomian in nature, being very elite texts. Now, many of the Rabbanan knows this. Now, we have a small minority of very, very stupid Jews that, knowing and understanding this, some of them have written books on this, exposing all of this, and are very, very anti-Zohar and are against the Zohar. Can you see how, hopefully by now you can understand how stupid and how spiritually retarded these Jews must be. Luckily, it's just a very small handful of Jews, okay? And I know some of these Jews, and I'm not going to say any names here, because unfortunately, let's say some belong to my own family bloodline, which is just preposterous to even just consider and think about. But in any case, even a lot of Jewish Kabbalists, I think, don't fully understand this. Okay, you go to your average Orthodox Jew and you ask them, you tell them, you do know that what we consider to be the most powerful and holiest and most divine of texts, that it is an antinomian text, that it contradicts the halacha, and that it contradicts the Talmudim in many places. How do you reconcile this? How do you reconcile this? Look at Arizal. Arizal is considered the greatest Jew. I go when I speak to many of these stupid Orthodox Jews that are anti-Zohar and anti-Kabbalah, and I tell them, who are the greatest Jews that have ever walked the earth in the past 2,000 years? Who are the most famous and most saintly of Jews? And number one at the top of the list is the Arizal. And I said, if you're going to tell me that the Arizal is one of the greatest Jews, you do know that the Arizal, that Chaim Vital, many of the most famous and most holiest of Jews were knee deep into the Kabbalah and into these holy texts. So what did they know? How could they be so knee deep in these holy divine texts, at the same time knowing that these texts contradict the halacha and the Talmudim? What did they know? What do they know? So very, very critical, very, very important to understand. Now, I don't have the time and space to go into these contradictions or to even give you the divine reconciliations. I'm just here to put things in basic context. So hopefully, now that you know this very great, high, powerful arcanum, you will act accordingly. Shalom, wassalam.